Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be doing the strip down challenge. So, I mean, if you don't know what that is, then I'm not gonna. It's just where strip down challenge is like where you talk about yourself or something. I don't know the exact details, but everyone's doing it, and in this isn't to talk about Pokemon or video games or anything. It's just to talk about me, and I'm going to tell you kind of my life story and try and prove a point. I might just kind of go off on a tangent, but I sort of have an idea of what I want to talk about, and it's supposed to be like 10 minutes, but it's going to be way over that, I'm assuming. So just bear with me, but I think it's if you want to know more about me and just kind of know about some of the stuff that, well, if you just want to know about me, then stay tuned. Um, in particular, I was inspired by Gubbs to do this. His really hit home with me to kind of like it just inspired me to be open about my past and stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of go over my entire life story from the beginning because I think it'll make more sense that way. So I'm 17 years old. My name is Wyatt, first and foremost. Some of you guys know that if you talk to me on Skype, or just randomly know that. But yeah, my name is Wyatt, 17 years old. I live in rural Northern California. I was born in the Bay Area, which is kind of around San Francisco. I was about 30 or 40 minutes out of that. I had mom, dad, sister, and lived there till I was about 6, and then we moved up to where I live now, which is up in the mountains of Northern California. It's right between the state capital, Sacramento, and Lake Tahoe, which is like the other important place in Northern California, aside from San Francisco. But yeah, moved up here when I was 6. I wasn't too happy about it first because I had my friends and stuff, but over the time I got used to it. Um, Going into middle school, I was always really I was a pretty fat kid when I was in middle school, and I'm still kind of chunky now, but I've definitely lost a lot of weight since then. But I definitely I had some insecurities because I don't know if I felt insecurities because of my weight, but I did get bullied a good bit in like the fourth and fifth grades, and that as well as the third grade, and that kind of hurt my self-esteem. And I'm a really shy person when it comes to people that I'm not really comfortable with. Once I get to know a person, I'm really open, really energetic, really fun, and I do all sorts of stuff. But with people I don't know, I'm just kind of awkward around them. I don't know what to say. I can't come up with conversational points. Like with my best friend in the whole world since I've known since fourth grade, we can talk about anything, we can do anything. It doesn't really matter. But with just some person that I've met for the first time, or just kind of acquaintances, I just can't really converse all too well if we don't have anything significant in common to talk about. So I'm just not super comfortable in social things most of the time. But I got by. I have a good group of friends. I'm happy with who I have. The high school I go to really it's like a really small school that's on a junior college campus for smart kids. And yeah, I will admit I am a smart kid in class. I say some stupid shit, but I'm school wise I'm pretty smart. My sister's really smart, and she's also really driven where I'm kind of lazy, but I can get good grades right now. I'm pulling straight A's my third year of high school, which is good for me so far. I want to keep that up. But yeah, I've always been pretty smart, kind of lazy. I procrastinate a lot, but I've been working on that, and I don't know, I just kind of who I am and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm smart, but one of the things that's nice about my high school is it's filled with people that are kind of just like me, smart and nerdy, and we do dorky stuff. And it's 150 people in the entirety of the high school, 150 students, and we're kind of cool with anything, really. It's really nice. I can talk about anime, I can talk about Pokemon, even though no one really plays Pokemon there competitively. But I can talk about stuff, and I'm not going to get made fun of as a dork or anything, which is really nice. It's really freeing because I don't have to just like not talk about it to anyone. I play baseball at the high school, which is down the hill from us, and I can't and on the baseball team, I can't talk about anime. I can't talk about Pokemon because I know I'm going to get patronized for it, and I just don't want to put myself in that scenario. So I'm afraid of talking about that because I don't want to be outcasted or made fun of, because I no one likes being made fun of, and I'm no exception to that. But I'm getting off track. So when we moved up here, my mom's always been a veterinarian, and my dad was an engineer, and he left and he quit that, and he started up his property management business up here. And this was at the time when real estate was on the boom, and like it was a thing to be in property management. But soon after we got up here, that was when the stock market crashed, and his business really struggled, and it took him a really long time to get around treading water. And he worked exceptionally hard. And my mom was also works really hard, but for a long time, because of the stock market crash and we made some bad financial choices, we were pretty damn broke, and that took a lot out on them. It didn't really affect me too much because I was young, but I really didn't. It upset me when I heard about that, and but we eventually got above water, which is really great, and we're right there now because of some lucky breaks, I guess you could say. In a sense, I have a good college fund, so I'll be able to go to college and all that without having to pay student loans unless I'm going to somewhere really expensive. But I don't plan on doing that. I'm interested in nursing or dentistry, so I'll be applying for colleges next year around this time. So those are definitely the two things I'm most interested in trying to do. But now I'm gonna kind of go into my story. So it was just around last year. I was 16 years old, right around Thanksgiving. It was a week or two away, and I was on my computer, just in the same room. I was in a Skype call, or I was chatting on Skype with a group of guys, and that day I got a call from the police and said, "Do you know where your mother is?" or like, "Is she here?" And I said, "No, she's at work right now." So I gave them the information of where her work was and all that, and I wasn't sure what to think of it, and so I just kind of read it off. I was like, "All right, that was weird, but I'm just gonna keep on doing what I'm doing." And then a couple hours later, around 6 p.m., she comes into this room, and she's in tears, and she says, "Wyatt, your dad's dead." And yeah, I'm getting a little worked up about it now, but my dad died last year. He was going scuba diving not scuba diving, he was abalone diving with his friend, and something went wrong. He drowned, or he had a heart attack or something underwater, and there was nothing they could do for him. He passed away. I lost my dad last year when So yeah, that's kind of the main thing. My dad's not here anymore, and 16 years old when it happened. Of course, some people never knew their dads or lost them very young, but I feel like just knowing him for 16 years and just getting into that range where you're becoming older and you're starting to become an adult, so you can do a lot more fun stuff, and that I was looking forward to doing, and I can't do that now. I missed out on my chance, and it's just awful, and it hit the family really hard. That whole night I was crying, and I couldn't stop crying, and when my sister got home, she started crying, and it was horrible. It was just so sad, because it's hard to explain the despair you feel when you hear those words. And at first I was incredulous. I was like, "What? No, you can't be serious." But there's absolutely no reason for my mom to be kidding about that. She was in pain when she was telling me those things, so I believed her, and it was just, that night was just the worst night of my entire life. It was absolutely just full of despair, and it was just horrible. But at that night, I just cried, and I cried, and I cried until I really just couldn't cry anymore. And after that, I kind of resolved myself that I have to stay strong. I have to be the one for the girls, my sister and my mom, to cry on, because I've always been kind of stoic. I don't show a ton of emotion, I'm more emotionally stable than them, I'd say. So I just kind of resolve myself that I have to be strong for them. This is what I need to do. I have to be strong for them so that they know that if there's anything wrong, they can come to me and I'll try and help them in the best way I could. So ever since that night, I really haven't shed many tears about it, and I felt like it. I felt so sad to the pit of my core, and I wanted to cry, and I've shed a tear here and there, but I haven't. I haven't just gone and laid it all out there. I just tried to keep it quiet, and I'm not. It's not because I'm trying to not cry or I'm trying to not feel terrible about it, because I will feel terrible about it on occasion, and when that happens, I just have to let whatever happens happens. But I just wanted to stay strong for them, and I tried to do that for them. And even the next day, I went to school because I wanted to just try and make that, just try and give myself a little assurance that, and give them a little assurance that life can and will go back to normal. Things will be fine, and I wanted to see. It was kind of a test of my own will. How strong can I be? Can I get through a school day without breaking down? And I think at one point after first or second period, I went in the bathroom, I cried a little bit, and then I was done with that. And there was only one person on campus that I knew. The night before, or the night of, I called my best friend and I told him what happened, and he was the only one that knew. And that day was just absolutely miserable. I tried to distract myself as best as possible, and he was a great help for that. He was making jokes and trying to make me laugh, which was really appreciated, and that's why I love him as a friend. But he's always been there for me. I'm actually getting a little worked up right now. But yeah, that night and that first day were the hardest times of my life, pretty much. And right away, we had family and friends over there. The night of, my aunt and uncle were down here. Or no, my uncle and aunt got here at 3 in the morning, and then a bunch of friends and my other aunt and uncle, one of my others, they showed up when they were there when I got back home after school, and it was just really it was really nice to know that there was people that cared for us, and there was people that were willing to help us in this just time of need when we were at our most vulnerable point. It was just absolutely horrible. But yeah, so those were the initial days of it. So my dad passed. We cried and we felt despair, and I resolved myself to stay strong for the girls. And I guess I can talk about some of the. It's been a year now. Our lives are kind of getting closer to being back on track. I don't. I try as hard as I can to not let it stop me from doing anything that I'd want to do, and I don't really do it much, but if I really want to push myself, I kind of use that as inspiration to be part of the man that my dad was, because my dad was he was a great guy. He did a whole lot of amazing things for a whole lot of people, and he was so thankless, and he worked so hard for the family. And once he was gone, and he had this business, like I mentioned, that my mom kind of had to take over running that, and she didn't have a property manager's license, so we hired one of his ex-employees to mainly do the deal. But my mom's still dealing with the business, and we've been trying to sell it. We're really close to selling it, but over the past year, it's been a huge burden on her to work her job of being a veterinarian, which she works really hard at, and she does a fantastic job. But she also, on her free time, is going to the office, and she'll do stuff there because we're trying to get the business sold, and we're getting a lot closer. We're almost there, but she's been working so hard at it, and it's been such a tax on her mentally. And also my sister, she was a senior in high school when this happened, right around the time when she's writing. It was like right after she was writing, or right in the middle of her writing her college exams, and she had a whole ton of stuff doing. She's amazing. She's really smart, and she works so hard and she does so many things. She's one of the people that is kind of crazy because she overbooks herself, and that was really hard on her. It was extremely hard on her because of this horrible loss. And with all the things she was doing, it definitely took a huge toll on her. But but the great thing is, none of us broke down. None of us caved or did anything stupid. We all stood strong to our values and all that kind of stuff. My sister's now going to the college that she wanted to go to, and I'm really proud of her. And I'm doing better in school than I have been in the past couple of years, which I was doing pretty good, but I'm doing even better now. And my mom's getting back on track. It's still hard on her, but she's starting to be able to accept it and be able to move on with it, which of course we're never going to be able to fully move on or forget about it, because that would just be horrible. I could never ever forget my dad and the amazing man that he was, but I can't let it hold me back, and I've done my best to not do it, to not hold me back. And our family's been so supportive of us, and everyone's been just so great about it. I've never gotten one of those. No one's ever been a dick about it or anything like that. Everyone's just been nothing but nice if they mention it. And another thing is, I don't really talk about this much. Like, I just don't talk about it, because I don't want to disrupt the social cues, because when I talk about this, it just brings the mood from up here to way down here-ish. So it's hard to talk about, because I don't want to put a damper on anyone else. I kind of keep it to myself, and when I do talk about it with my family, I just kind of get sad, and I don't want them to feel sad. I want them to be happy, and so it's tough for me to talk about this, and I'm really glad that I can just talk into a camera, and it's a whole hell of a lot easier. It's kind of cowardly, I guess, since I've never really talked this much about it, but and it's cowardly in the fact that I'd be better for me to talk to an actual person. But I want you guys to know this. I want you guys to know what I've gone through and how it kind of constitutes to who I am now. And one of the most important things is, even when you suffer this great tragedy, don't let it bring you down too much. Of course you're going to be sad. Of course you're going to be heartbroken. Of course you're going to cry, and it's going to take a big toll on you, but don't let it destroy you. I mean, I've heard plenty of cases of people that go into despair, and then they become a drug addict, or they become an alcoholic, or they just completely they completely shut out all their friends and stop going to class and fail school and all this kind of shit. That don't let that happen. You have to stay strong, and that's my thing. You just gotta, even as hard as it is, you have to stay strong, and you have to keep doing what you do that makes you happy and what's gonna make you good and successful in the long run. Because if you just quit life if I quit life at 16 and became just a drug addict or high school dropout, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I could die in a ditch when I'm 22 or something, and I've done absolutely nothing with my life. But I have aspirations. I want to accomplish things. I want to live a long and good life. I want to help people. I want to be happy. I want to have fun. I want to find love and all that stuff. And I'd certainly hope that anyone who's gone through something like this would feel that way too. It's so hard. It's just awful, but you gotta stay with it. You have to stay true to yourself. You have to even work harder and be a better self than you were before. Because if you're not, then you're just letting the adversity get the best of you. And I'm a baseball player, and one of my coaches, who's kind of like a father figure in some sorts, one of his favorite phrases is "turn adversity to victory." And of course, it's kind of weird in this sense, but I have this adversity, and I need to turn it into a positive. I need to get as much positivity out of it as I can, and I've tried that. I've been doing that really well. And I want to just keep on making myself better and continuing to better myself until the very end. And that's what my dad would want me to do. That's what my mom and my sister would want me to do. That's what I want my mom and my sister to do. I want them to be good people and as successful people as they can, and I'm sure they wish the same for me and each other. And I'm sure that's what my dad would want from the very beginning. That's what he always wanted of us. we didn't have family problems. We were a really tight family. My mom and dad, they never fought. There was never, like, there weren't any problems really. We were good. We were a really close knit group, and just losing my dad, it was just crushing. But we didn't, and we're not going to let it be the best of us. We're gonna become better people because of it, I'd say. And yeah, that's basically it. So my message, I've been rambling here and there, but my message is stay strong. Don't let a tragedy defeat you. You have to defeat it. You have to come out on top. You have to become better because of it, or stronger because of it, or anything like that. So that's my point. And if you have any experiences like this, I'd love to talk about it. And I'm actually going to go visit a counselor for the first time in the upcoming weeks. So that might be good to get some things off my chest, because I don't talk about it. This is one of the few times that I've ever talked about this in length. If any of this might be the only time that I've talked about it in length, because I'm just not comfortable talking about it. I don't want to make other people sad and make them feel dumb. But there's me rambling again. But yeah, be strong. Don't let it get the best of you. Just do your best to be the best you can be. And that's about it. So if you want to talk to me about things or share similar stories, I'd love to hear them. And thanks for just tuning into these 20 minutes of me talking about some serious shit. And I don't know what to say, but thank you for watching. See ya.